I don't know how to say that this is a plot twist that we saw coming a long time ago. Although, when you think about it, plot twists are not something that you would expect. Their very essence is to surprise you. It so happens that in the latest scandal, straight from the Dutch version of the book Belen Game, Catherine, our Princess of Wales, has been effectively named and accused as being the second royal racist who dared to question, talk about, or mention Archie's skin color. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how this is going to backfire on Meghan and Harry in a way that will make the word karma an understatement. And yeah, some of you thought that at some point maybe this could work. Maybe Meghan could be a team player in the royal family. But in the end, it was also you, the ones who saw through her facade from the very beginning, that were right. Your spider sense worked like a charm. And Dutch journalist Rick Evers published a teaser for his analysis of the book, being clear about all the content that is in the Dutch version, but not in the English version. Complete paragraphs are missing in the English version, such as on page 128. The mention of private letters confirm an identity, raising questions about translation accuracy. But we know that this is not a translation error, right? Because names of people don't just pop up because of a bad translation. And on page 334, the book discusses conversations about unconscious bias within the royal family. These conversations involve the King and Catherine, Princess of Wales, regarding Archie. After discussing possible unconscious biases within the family, after it was revealed that the King and Princess of Wales had taken part in such conversations about Archie, Kate has avoided discussing the subject with her sister-in-law. Well, Meghan has a big flaw in terms of personality. And it's not only the narcissism, which, by the way, I have covered in countless videos, both here and in the Body Language Guide. But there's this other term that I haven't mentioned enough: histrionic, the true nature of someone who craves attention above everything. I would go as far as to say that Meghan wants the attention even more than she wants the money. And that is a big issue because if you're not a Kardashian, then attention is actually quite hard to transform into money. If you want to keep an activist brand, that is. But it's clear that with this Belen Game mistake, Meghan has gone way beyond that. This was completely unnecessary from a brand standpoint, not profitable for her or Harry's brand, not even good marketing for Archwell, and the reasons is the one I previously said. She doesn't really care about the brand or Archwell or the titles or the made-up political aspirations. She only wants the attention. When you think about it, Meghan has not been hardworking. I certainly don't remember every word that I've said in these videos, but if at any time I've hinted at the idea that Meghan was a hardworking woman, even as a social climbing grifter, I apologize. That is not the case. Because if she was hardworking, that's what she would be doing now instead of trying to stir more cheap gossip that in fact takes the attention away from her brand and back into the racism claims. Everything was fake from beginning to end. She always hated Catherine and the life she had. Envy is something that can consume you, and Meghan took it to the extreme. She wanted William, but she couldn't, of course. It's obvious from the few interactions with the Wales children that envy also extended to them. And by this point, I would not be surprised that Meghan, not that far into the future, makes further claims about Charlotte. Any kind of crazy claim, maybe even that Charlotte is yet another racist in the royal family. As I told you, I would not be surprised in the least. The only thing that protects the Wales children, besides their parents, of course, is their age. Should Meghan barely suggest that they mistreated her, she will be utterly destroyed by the media. Although, with so many lukewarm snakes disguised as royal commentators, I won't discard that some of them could side with the Montecito Duchess, as outrageous as this might sound. Because, and this is something I know I do very well, I analyze people's behavior. And people's behaviors always comes from two things: either an intention or a trigger. Either it's premeditated or something triggers your actions, or a blend of both. Nothing comes from thin air. So think about this for a minute. The same question I asked a few minutes ago. Who exactly benefits from this leak in the alleged bad translation of Belengame? Not the Harkles, that's for sure, because you remember that those claims of racism were already debunked by Harry himself over his spare interviews. That's why I mentioned the histrionic personality disorder. These people have a big problem, which is despite they know that some kind of attention is going to hurt them, even in the short term, or maybe it's not going to benefit them at all, they would do anything to get that attention. They are effectively addicted to it. And this is the reason why you see all their projects just crumble. Because Harry, well, he hasn't worked a single day of his life. He doesn't know what responsibility is. He had the greatest privilege of all, and he blew it for a Z-list actress. I wouldn't say that it was a waste either, because we are talking about Harry after all, and no, he never really mattered. He could have done with his life whatever he wanted. And what he wanted is what he got. He fell into that downward spiral where he can't get out now, even if he tried in a foolish way to correct Curse, saying that it wasn't Meghan who had said that the royal family was racist, but the British press. I see some of you wondering why so many different recollections. First, it was only one royal, now it's two. First, it was the moment they met, then it was when Meghan was pregnant. Then, the Harkles don't seem to agree on one single official version. And why is this? Because it's just Meghan making up things as she goes along. Oh, but your reputation, Meghan, your reputation is going to take a hit because of that. She doesn't care. What she wants is the attention, the headlines, the social media mentions. She doesn't really care if her fans are a bunch of resentful, bottom-of-the-barrel specimens. She only wants and needs them to retweet and share and love her no matter what. And this is the reason behind their very public downfall. From effing grifters at Spotify to senior executives living in Invictus Games in the wake of financial troubles coming, and coming in hard, no serious company, organization, or institution worth actual money will give them the time of day. Not only because it's public domain that they don't work at all, that every single company working with them had to do the hard work only for them to claim the credit and not getting the investment back. But who in their sane mind would remotely think of getting near Meghan Markle now? Not even with an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, could stop her from calling you a racist or a misogynist or who knows what through third parties, namely Discount Barbican or Jack Royston or any of their so-called influencers on TikTok. They are bringing this upon themselves. I'm not going to lie, watching this is going to be fun. But Rogues, you know I want to know what you think about this, so make sure you give me your opinion in the comments. And remember that you've got only 4 days left to get my Rogue Highlander and Much Love and Bliss merch before they are gone forever. So check the link in the description, and for any item you get, you'll receive a personal thank you video from me as well. My Royal Rogues, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And remember the 2 most important words: much love and bliss.